Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name's Jenny and this is Arnold the Praying Penguin, and we have Bernard down here because he's feeling left out. He hasn't been in a video for a while. But happy Boxing Day. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas day. I really love this time between Christmas and New Year's Day. Just kind of eating all the leftover food, enjoying the presents you were given, just spending time with people if you're able to, and just relaxing, hopefully. But it's also a great time for us to look forward to the new year, make plans, preparations, do all the things that we want to do before we get to 2021. So today I wanted to talk about goals, how we can set goals, what goals we might want to set, how we can achieve our goals. I really enjoy this kind of thing, these kind of to-do lists and goals, and making plans, but I also want to do this from a Christian perspective, making sure that everything I'm doing is for the glory of God and also rooted in my faith. So Arnold, of course, is going to help us to do just that. So we're going to start with how do we go about setting goals. And the first thing to say is you don't have to set goals at all. If you don't want to, don't do it. If you don't think it's going to help you, don't do it. I'm a really goal and task oriented person. They really help me. I love being able to tick things off of a to-do list. I use them a lot in my work and my personal life. They just really help me and I really enjoy them, so that's why I like to set goals. But if that doesn't work for you, don't do it. You absolutely don't need to, and it's definitely not a requirement for the Christian faith at all. But if you do love goals just like me and want to join me in setting some goals for 2021, there are two ways that I kind of go about setting my goals. The first of these is to do like a bucket list kind of things that I can just tick off once they're done. These can be really big, year-long challenges or really small things, just like go to this place or see this person. And these I like to keep really fun, things that I want to do. And I'm going to talk more about that idea in another video that will be coming out on Wednesday. So make sure you're subscribed to see that video when it comes out. But in this video, we're going to talk more about kind of project goals, things that I want to be working on throughout the whole of the year and beyond, and maybe things that I've already started working on. And I just want to continue working on them in that longer term sense. So what goals should we set? Personally, I like to kind of theme my goals. So you could split this out into kind of family goals and personal goals and work goals, that kind of thing, to give them each a theme. But this year I thought an interesting thing to do would be to look at it in a slightly different way. So the way that I've split out my goals for this year are to start with myself, with spiritual disciplines, and then go out to spiritual gifts, how I serve those around me, then relationships and community, my relationships with other people, the way that I interact with my community, and then finally ministry, how I reach out to other people on an even wider level. So let's start with spiritual disciplines. Spiritual disciplines, in my mind, are the ways that we personally improve and work on our relationship with God. So this is through prayer, through reading the Bible, through fasting, those kind of things, those kind of practices. So your goals here could be to study certain books of the Bible or a certain number of books of the Bible, or to read through the whole Bible in 1 year. It could be to develop a prayer and Bible study routine that you stick to on a regular basis. Or it could be to try a new kind of prayer idea, maybe keeping a prayer board or a prayer journal, something like that. And I have plenty of videos up on my channel if you'd like to try out a new way of praying like that. So I've written my goals down in my handy notebook. And for spiritual disciplines, I want to create a more structured prayer routine. So I think this will probably involve using a prayer journal a bit more, but making sure that I have some kind of routine to my prayer, as well as it being kind of throughout the day as well. And also to study through Luke, 1 Corinthians, and I haven't decided which ones I want to move on to after 1 Corinthians. And I think I'll probably decide when I get there, but basically the idea of this goal is to just keep studying the Bible, which is something that I've definitely fallen off the wagon in 2020, and I want to hop back on and make sure this is something that I'm doing consistently. So the second level of our goals was the spiritual gifts, how we use the God-given gifts that we have to serve other people and to serve God. So I'm sure many of you have probably done some of those kind of spiritual gifts tests that will tell you what those things are that you're really good at, that you really love, those gifts and skills that you've been given. But even if you haven't, just spend some time thinking about the things that you can do well, the things that you love, the things that you find yourself doing quite regularly. Are you a really good intercessor? Are you really good at hospitality and welcoming people into your home? Are you really creative and you use that skill to serve God? Are you really good at admin or mission, or so many different things could be spiritual gifts. And I think our spiritual gifts do also change over time in different seasons and in different situations that we're facing. This is about thinking about how am I using those gifts and skills that I've been given to serve God and to serve other people. If you're really not sure what your gifts might be, I definitely recommend talking to people that know you well and asking them what they think your gifts are, because I think they'll be really insightful. So your goals here could be to find a new way of using your gifts. Volunteer in some new way that will allow you to use that gift to serve other people and to serve God, whether that's serving in a certain team at your church or something else in your community. And another goal idea here would be to develop your gift. So this could involve going on some training. For example, if one of your gifts is teaching, perhaps you could go on a course that will help you to learn more about how to preach well or how to communicate well, do public speaking training, that kind of thing, that will help you get even better at that skill and be able to use that gift even better. And even if you can't do training in person, perhaps it could just be you practicing that skill or that gift. Or it could be reading a book about it to help you understand it more. So my goals for this, I think, are going to be to start playing my clarinet again. I used to play quite a lot, and I often play in the worship band. But that's kind of obviously all stopped during 2020, and I haven't really practiced like at all. And I need to get back into it, and I want to get back into it, and I want to be able to use that gift and that skill well. And my other goal is to write 4 sermons. And I've kind of set this goal to make sure I keep practicing this skill and this gift. I don't want it to just get forgotten, even though we're doing a lot less preaching at the moment because we're not in church in person that often. But even if I'm not down on a rota to preach, I still want to write a sermon and practice it. If you want to see how I go about writing my sermons, I have a whole vlog going through the process of planning, writing and delivering a sermon, so you should definitely check that out. The third layer was community and relationships. So our relationships with our family, with our friends, with our children or our parents, and with those in our community. So ideas of goals here could be to join or even to lead a house group or a Bible study group together. It could be to build relationships with your neighbours, maybe that you haven't met yet. Strike up conversations with them or take them a cake. Or it could be to work on your family relationships, whether that's with a date night, whether that's to go on a marriage or marriage preparation course. How can you invest in and improve those relationships that are important to you? So my goals for community and relationships, I think, would be to continue mentoring. And I think that's both me having a mentor and me mentoring other people. And my other goal is to invite people around more, to practice hospitality more. When it's allowed and we're allowed to have people around. I really miss having people around for dinner and for that kind of thing. And I think I'd really like to do that more in 2021, once we're allowed to. And the next layer of our goals was ministry. How do you serve God even wider than that relationships and community level? What things do you do that come probably outside of that? And this may well overlap with some of the other goals that we've talked about, especially kind of your gifts and skills one, because you'd probably be using gifts and skills hopefully in your ministry. So for me, my ministry is this YouTube channel and my blog. There's many different things that this could be. This could be groups that you lead. This could be in your job, in your workplace. It can be online ministries and in-person ministries. It can be the groups that you're part of outside of church and outside of that Christian community, whether that's orchestras or art groups or book groups, anything like that. So again here, some goals could be training and development. How can you improve in that area? How can you get better at ministering in whatever way that looks for you? And it's also to think about, what do you want to achieve through that ministry? And that could be in terms of the amount of people that you're able to reach, the amount of people that you're able to interact with. It could be your goal to share your testimony with someone in one of those groups that you're part of, or in your workplace. It could be that you want to progress or step up into a position of leadership. So my goals for ministry, I think, would be to reach 500 subscribers on YouTube. Now, I'm kind of completely ignoring the realistic element of SMART goals here, because I'm only on about 566 or so subscribers at the moment. So obviously 500 is a big goal. So if you're not subscribed and you want to help me achieve this goal, do click subscribe and click the notification bell so you see all of my videos. So that'll be really fun and help me achieve my goal. And the other thing I want to do is use my email list and actually start a regular monthly email newsletter. I think this would be a really good way to reach out to people more, to interact with people more, be able to have a chat, be able to share different things with people and stay connected a bit more. So if you'd like to hold me accountable to this goal and see whether I actually achieve it, you can subscribe to my email list down below and there'll be all sorts of fun things coming your way, hopefully, in 2021. So now that we've got our goals, how do we go about achieving them? So my first tip would be to write them down somewhere that you're going to check back regularly. So for me, I like to use my bullet journal to keep track of my goals, to write them down somewhere that I look back on a regular basis. This is my 2020 bullet journal. I don't have my 2021 one yet, but when I do, hopefully I'll have a whole setup video coming for you. But at the beginning of the year, I like to create a spread where I can come back to them and remind myself of what they are, tick off my progress, see how I'm doing on those goals throughout the whole year. But you could also do this by maybe putting your goals on your prayer board, or even just keeping them in your phone. My second tip is to have a plan. It's very easy to just write down our goals and just say, I'm going to do that. But to actually achieve it, we need to think about how we're going to go about doing so. So part of the idea of checking back in our goals regularly is thinking, what can I do now to progress towards that goal? So perhaps each month, check back at what your goals were and think, how can I progress towards that goal this month? What can I do this month that will help me work towards that? So if one of your goals is to do some training or development, maybe you could start researching what opportunities are available in 1 month. These can be quite small steps that will help you get there over the whole year. If your goal is to study a certain number of books of the Bible, maybe your first step would be to start a Bible study routine where you get into a routine of reading the Bible on a regular basis. My third tip is to be held accountable. So talk about your goals with other people. Get them to help you. I'm talking to all of you guys about my goals, so you can hold me accountable to these throughout the year. You can check in and ask me how I'm doing on those goals. And you could do the same with a friend. Tell each other what your goals are and then check back in throughout the year, see how you're both progressing, and see how you can help each other with those goals. And here you can also set rewards and motivations if that works for you, if that helps to push you on. Maybe split them down and think, oh, maybe once I've achieved this, then I can reward myself with this thing. Rewards definitely really help to motivate me personally. I really enjoy them, I find them fun, and just something to work towards on a shorter term basis. But here we also need to have grace and learn to be flexible. If something happens, like a global pandemic happened in 2020, if something big throws you a curveball, you need to be able to have grace with yourself and not punish yourself for not being able to achieve that goal when it's totally out of your control a lot of the time. Our fourth tip, and Arnold's favourite tip, is to pray. Pray as you choose your goals, pray over the goals that you're deciding on. Pray as you make your plans for your goals, for how you're going to achieve them. Make sure God is part of that process and make sure you're being led by Him. And also pray for opportunities. Ask God to show you how you can achieve these goals and to give you opportunities to work on these different things. And our fifth tip is to celebrate your achievements. When you achieve one of your goals, or even a step towards one of your goals, make sure you celebrate. As I said, rewards and motivations really work for me because I feel so accomplished after I've achieved even that shorter goal. And this is also a great opportunity to remember to thank God. Thank Him that you've been able to achieve that. Thank Him for His help in that situation. So those are our ideas and tips for setting goals for 2021. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are setting goals and what kind of goals you're setting, especially if you're making any prayer or Bible study related goals, because these two will be absolutely delighted. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos from me and Arnold, because we have lots of exciting things planned for 2021 and we'd love for you to join us. And we will see you on Wednesday for our last video of 2020. Bye!